have your notes and everything. Yeah? Okay. Hello and welcome to Theatre of Dreams here on WION. The dreams of 30 of the 32 teams that started this World Cup are over. Croatia and France take centre stage on Sunday to achieve their dreams. Now, all the editions of Theatre of Dreams through the last month have featured some very serious conversation, tactical analysis and football punditry of the highest level. Today, we try something completely left field. Ashley Westwood and Eugene Lingdo are here with me today for a very special task. We are, over the next half an hour, going to play Super Selector. And these two gentlemen will help us come up with WION's dream team of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. So let's get started then. Let's look at the stars who have put themselves in the reckoning to make the Dream 11 of this World Cup. Yes, some big names there who have done us, given us so much to be proud of at this World Cup. But at the very beginning, gentlemen, since you are going to play this onerous task of being managers/selectors, let me just tell you and our viewers that this dream team, this WION dream team, is not based on reputation. We're not going to go by reputation. We're actually going to go with how the players have performed in this World Cup. And that means, right at the top, let me tell you, that this dream team will not have the likes of Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Mohamed Salah, and perhaps no German or Spanish player. Ashley, I've taken the important editorial call. The fact remains that, when you're looking at a dream team, you need the best players of this tournament, not players who dazzled in the earlier rounds and could take the teams through.
Certainly, and any dream team with no Germans is a fantastic start for me. Get them out, that's what I say. No, it's you have to look on the whole World Cup. Obviously, people have got to the semi-finals, the finals, have a bit of an advantage. Forwards, it's always hard to choose from forwards and attacking midfielders because they're the ones that catch the eye. There's the one that scores the goals. But we're trying to find a well-balanced team, based on all the statistics really and everything that we've seen.
Yeah, we can make out he's still disappointed that England didn't make it. Perhaps that explains the black T-shirt. I don't know why you were wearing a black T-shirt. You were backing Croatia. But Eugene, is it fair? Is it a fair call for us to make as the editorial team of WION that we're not going to go with players who could not carry their teams over the line? I mean, you expect the likes of Ronaldo, Messi to grab their teams by the scruff of the neck, take them over the line. They did it in a few matches, but not through the entire tournament.
I mean, a dream team has to be a team consisting of players who have really done really well throughout. Not like only in the group stages. It shows that it's a team game and how players have individually performed to help the team reach to where they are. So, I mean, we have the liberty of doing it.
Okay, no players from Germany, as we said. So let's now get to the real action. Come on, gentlemen. I hope you're ready. Because let's start with the goalkeepers. Now, lots of handball incidents in this World Cup, but the goalkeepers legally allowed to handle the ball, especially in their area. If you go simply by saves, Ashley, then Guillermo Ochoa of Mexico right up there, followed by Thibaut Courtois. Is that the route we should be looking at? How many saves you made?
I think sometimes goalkeepers are, you talk about saves you make, Schmeichel saved 6 in one game for Denmark. I think that was a record at one time. But sometimes the goalkeepers, they only need to make one save. So it's concentration levels as well with goalies. Be there when you need it, when you're called upon, and don't make mistakes. Goalkeepers are always judged on the mistakes. So, and then obviously, the more games they play, maybe the more clean sheets they get. So there's quite a lot to evaluate with a goalkeeper, and that's how we've kind of tried to come up with our answer.
Okay, Eugene, then do we then look only at the 4 goalkeepers who made the semi-finals? They took the team till the semis? And you're looking at Thibaut Courtois, you're looking at Hugo Lloris, Jordan Pickford, and Daniel Subasic. Should we remain confined to those 4 then?
Yeah, I think we have to confine to those 4 because it's, like Coach has said, they made saves, but how important were those saves? So, for example, if you take Subasic, his penalty saves were very important, very vital for Croatia to actually come here. Like Thibaut Courtois, the save that he did on Neymar, and likewise for Pickford. So I mean, we have to choose on that lines, and I feel.
But when we're looking at situations as well, what about someone like a Hugo Lloris who hasn't made too many saves compared to the rest of the lot, but whenever he's been asked to make an important save, he made it.
He's done. I mean, he's got a strong defense to really back him up, help him out. But he also did a crucial save the other day. I mean, the Alderweireld's shot. I mean, he also deserves to be there. But I feel these other 4 really deserve it.
Okay. You've come up with your final goalkeeper. We've gone through this. Tell us, Ashley, who do you think is the goalkeeper of this tournament?
Well, I think we can look no further than Lloris. I mean, he's kept 4 clean sheets, which is probably one of the most, if not the most, so far to get to this stage. So, you know, that's how goalkeepers judge themselves on. You know, they might not even do anything, but they know, you know, you have this goalkeepers union, the goalkeeper coach pitches in, and it's always, the start point is always clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet, and he's kept 4.
Okay, so we've got a confirmation then from Ashley and Eugene. It's on our screens, you can see. The first name on this dream team is the French captain, Hugo Lloris. Okay, let's now look at the defenders. Let's look at the back 4. What are you looking for in a central defender? Are you looking at someone who scores a lot of goals as well? Or are you looking at solid, keep the team shape compact, don't get too many shots from the opposition as well?
Now you look at someone who can really control, who will be a voice behind, who's actually help his team from the defense while, you know, when the start of the attack, and some guy who can go up front, be a presence even in set pieces. So I feel, from my point of view, stopper back or centre back, what we say, has to be on that lines.
Lots of names in the mix here. Diego Godin was very, very solid and integral to Uruguay's. You know, they were one of the miserliest defenses in this World Cup. You also had the Brazilians. I mean, Coach Cheat starts with defensive solidity, so you had them as well. Any other contenders you think the French have done very well as well?
Yeah, I mean, France have done well. Like we've mentioned, clean sheets. You know, Stones for England has popped up and scored a goal. Vertonghen, you know, Vertonghen has done well, but in a back 3. So you also then have to start thinking about what system you want to play in your team. You know, there's no point putting someone in a back 3. Vertonghen, we've also seen played left back. Versatility, but you just want someone like Eugene said. You want a presence. You want somebody that can control it. And loads of elements. The goals for the central defenders are always a bonus. You don't expect your central defenders to score. It's nice when it happens, but what you want, your platform, your foundation, your rocks, and it all comes. You know, I was an ex-central defender, and they always say you build from the back. There's no point talking about all these forwards if you're going to concede. So you want somebody that's going to give you that foundation to kick on and start your play-off.
And what about the fullbacks? What are those roles? Who do you think fills those roles? We've got some interesting names there as well. Pawad's a contender for goal of the tournament. Great strike. You have Strinic, who did very well as well, and you've got some other players. Trippier, we can't ignore Kieran Trippier as well.
Again, Trippier, athleticism is what you want from your modern day fullback, someone that gets up and down, lots of energy. Trippier does that, but again, he's played in a back 5, more of a wing back. Nacho's probably deserves a mention, scored an unbelievable goal, you know, contender for one of the goal of the tournaments. Fantastic goal. Alba on the left-hand side for Spain as well was good, but obviously they didn't advance, so you have to start thinking about that. How many games did they play? There's loads of fullbacks. You know, Strinic, like you've mentioned, Croatia, they've gone all the way to the final, so, you know, lots of things to come in, and then also you then start talking about your relationships with your central defenders, and you start thinking about who can go where, who can complement each other. So there's many elements to think of.
It's been a bad World Cup for him. No Spain, no England now. But it's okay, Ashley. This is the World Cup for you. Eugene, fullbacks who have impressed you? Perhaps you could have spoken about Marcelo, but he was injured and he missed a lot of games as well.
I think Alvarez from Mexico, he also very impressed me very much. Aglaxa from Uruguay, he also did a tremendous job. So yeah, just some of them who have really done well, but I think we've come to a conclusion.
You have? Okay, tell us, Ashley, tell us and we'll get it on our screens.
Well, again, a goal's probably got him in, as well as his consistent performances and that curly black hair. So Pavard comes in, probably just gets the nod. It was 50-50, I think, with Trippier.
Okay.
But like we mentioned, Trippier more of a wing back. So Pavard, the full back. And this
is an important one, Yerry Mina. Is it also because of the crucial goals he scored?
Yeah, I think his size as well. You know, you're talking 6'4", maybe a massive presence in both boxes. I think 3 goals he scored. On the verge of a move possibly to the Premier League. They're talking 24 million pounds, euros for a defender, which is good. So he deserves his place to be in there. And then someone to accompany him, another aggressor, if you like, very strong in the air, scored a goal as well, Maguire.
Okay, so this is the team. It's starting to get a bit of a shape, and so we've got Hugo Lloris, we've got the defenders now, Pavard and Hernandez, the French full-backs, and then centre of defence, Yerry Mina, and England's Harry Maguire. Perhaps Ashley, with his English roots, wanted Harry Maguire in there. Okay, now let's move on to one of the most important positions on a football pitch. This is not something which fans will instantly relate to, but as pundits of the game, you know how important the role of the holding midfield or the defensive midfielder is. The first name which just stares at you in the face, Eugene, is N'Golo Kante from France.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job. I mean, when you play a defensive midfielder, relieving the workload of your attacking midfielders. You're allowing them to play the advantage of what they're good at. So I mean, it does help the defense as well, and it helps the attacking players to move ahead. And you know, Kante has been one of them who's done really well. Casemiro, you could see it after his absence in the previous game, and you can like, for example, Brozovic, who in the previous game when he didn't play, so you could see Croatia were all over the place. They couldn't play without a defensive midfielder. So Rakitic and Modric didn't have the liberty. So that's the importance of a defensive midfielder.
It's important he brings Casemiro up because Casemiro missed the Brazil-Belgium game because of suspension. And we saw what happened. Belgium scored those 2 goals. There's also a case to be made for Jordan Henderson now. Finally, people in England seem to be appreciating his finer qualities. It's a job no one wants to do, but these two have to be in the mix as well.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's you know, unsung hero kind of position. You know, work that goes on that, you know, sometimes you don't see. You know, the television a lot of the time follows the ball. If you sat in the stands, you can see the ground these people are covering. You know, you mentioned Kante. He's also, you know, he gets the ball back. He wins the ball back. He doesn't also just cover the ground. The amount of times he gets his foot in, you know, he gets underneath people because he's quite small and strong. So ball recoveries are very important for a defensive midfielder as well. So there's many. Carvalho obviously has done well for Portugal, but they didn't advance. There's many names we can throw into the mix, to be honest.
Okay, you can throw as many names into the mix. We need one name. Come on, gentlemen. Who have you gone for?
Well, I think we both touched on it. Kante. I mean, he more or less was one of the reasons Leicester won the Premier League. You know, like I mentioned, the amount of times he wins that ball back is vital, and he wins it high up the pitch sometimes.
And who plays next to him? Okay, you've gone for Luka Modric. I mean, that's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with him you can play him anywhere across the middle. There's versatility in him. You know, he's got to the final. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't win the Golden Ball. You know, he single-handedly controlled that midfield against England the other day. So, you know, he has to be. Now, I watched him in the Champions League final. Yes, this is the World Cup, and even from that, he's unbelievable. He never gives the ball away hardly. You can't get the ball off him. You can't tackle him. He's got everything apart from probably size, and he doesn't need it because he's that good on the ball. Okay,
so this is how our team is shaping up now. We've got what? 4 to 6, 7 names already. 4 more names to pick, and we're going to move into the attacking third. That's something
where they're thinking we need to put a left back tight to him, and then we need a little bit of cover from either the defensive midfielder or the central defender. Someone that occupies more than one player, and he, because of his electrifying pace, certainly does that.
Yes, and each time he went on one of those runs in this World Cup, you had the broadcasters giving you how fast he was running. Let's look at the other position, the number 10 role now. And options for that for you? Number 10, Rakitic is there. You've got Eden Hazard as well, who's had a great World Cup.
I mean, there are quite a numerous amount of players who have really done well, number 10, but there's some who have really disappointed, like say, you could say, like you say, false nine, like Griezmann. He's really didn't perform to his mark till present.
He's got some lucky goals.
Yeah, I mean, number 10, as of now, what comes to your mind is Hazard. I think he's been very influential in Belgium's progress, and he's done a lot. According to the stats, he's done the most number of take-ons, and his successful rate has also been very great. So he deserves a mention apart from any other player.
I think I got bullied on this one. For me, Isco should have been there.
Okay, you had to come up with Isco. Come on.
You weren't having it. I think Isco was the best player, but obviously France were disappointing. So I have to mention him because when I watch him, I think he's brilliant. But obviously we know Hazard's done better.
One player who I've changed my mind about, and this is especially after seeing his performance in the knockouts, is Ivan Perisic. I think the last 2 or 3 games, keeping that in mind, you've got to find a place for Perisic in your team. Perhaps in the space of where you would have thought initially a Neymar, but no, he's really, you know, managed to impose his authority. Jose Mourinho this morning saying he's very unlike a winger like we've seen because he's very physical in the air as well.
Yeah, I think you know, he's that catalytic, and he starts it off, you know, his closing down, you know, his desire, you know, his never say die attitude. That can be infectious, and that ran through the Croatian team against England. And it was him setting it off. You know, he's chasing lost causes, he's putting defenders under pressure, forcing defenders to knock the ball long, and obviously he can pop up with a goal. He's got ability. It's not all about, you know, just endless running and desire. He's a good player, and he's definitely a threat.
Okay, so sort of you can know by that conversation where this one is going. So we're playing a 4-2-3-1 system, and these are the 3 men who our 2 gentlemen have chosen. Kylian Mbappe, no one can argue with that. You can't argue with Eden Hazard as well, and Ivan Perisic, absolutely brilliant in the last couple of games. That leaves us with just one position. Now, the race for the Golden Boot has someone like a Harry Kane right up there. But I wasn't too convinced with his performance in the last 2 games. You do need a target man. You can look at someone like a Romelu Lukaku as well, but his goals came against Tunisia and Panama. And sadly, I wanted to somehow fit Cheryshev into this team, but he doesn't make it in that position.
Yeah, I think with Cheryshev, he's been really unlucky. He scored some fantastic goals. Obviously came off the bench and scored 2 in a game, which is a no mean feat. But out of the 5 games he played, he found himself on the bench twice, and it's hard to try and find a sub in when you've got someone like Perisic, which is really the only place I think Cheryshev can play, cutting, you know, inside if you like. He is left-footed, but he finds those nice positions where he's a threat, which is why he gets his goals. But I think someone who's got to the final and been infectious just gives him a nod. So Cheryshev is
out.
Probably a reluctant sub, and he'll be knocking on the manager's door tomorrow saying, "What more do I need to do?"
He's going to be knocking on your door. But Eugene, Harry Kane, Lukaku, is anyone else you could look at? Because I still have my doubts on this position. You haven't, seen that kind of a forward. We saw shades of Diego Costa in the beginning. This is what you expect from a centre forward. A lot of Harry Kane's goals have come from set pieces, from penalties, the odd header, an assist from Dele Alli at times.
At the end, it's the goals that count. But I mean, like you say, you have strikers like if Uruguay had gone through Suarez, Cavani, they have potential. But like what we're saying, the team, we're looking at a team that has really done well as a team. And
is he a target man all teams can adapt and play to? Because he ticks all the roles as well.
Yeah, he and Lukaku are both similar, and I feel they can be as target men. But as for now, I feel Harry Kane has got the edge. I mean, he can take the free kicks as well, but he hasn't been taking. But he has got the quality which you would want in a team, and he's got the leadership quality as well. You could see he's leading a young England team all the way to the semis, but unfortunately they didn't go through the finals. But so you want a leader as well in the team, and I feel Harry Kane is the man up front.
Okay, you can perhaps know from his voice where he's alluding to. So let's have our WION Theatre of Dreams World Cup 11, and we're going to have our final man in there, Harry Kane, to lead the line. 6 goals so far in this World Cup, leading the race for the Golden Boot as well. Well, that's an interesting team you've picked up. Just not part of this dream team, obviously, but if you had to pick one manager to get the best out of this team, actually, and when I say best, I mean not defensive, not someone like a Cheech or a Didier Deschamps. Who is the best man to get this team firing so they can beat any competition anywhere in the world?
If we're talking about on that, topic that you're saying, you have to look at Gareth Southgate. He's got the best out of his players. He's got a huge connection with the players. The amount of pictures we've seen with him hugging players, and he seems to really care about them. He's good at bringing the best out of them. Tactically, we've looked at Roberto Martinez, if you like, but I think just for someone to manage all those stars, to manage all those different cultures and players, you need someone that's going to have the touch, the connection, and that's got to be Gareth Southgate.
We won't have a World Cup till 2022, but if this team plays in the Champions League every week, whenever the Champions League is on, is there anyone who can even come close?
Champions League is a different ball game, altogether. You have Messi, Ronaldo there, so it'll be a different thing altogether.
Okay, that's it then. We have our WION Theatre of Dreams Dream Team. Tell us what you think about it. That's the whole point of this exercise. We want you to write to us on Twitter using our Twitter handle @WIONNews. It would also help perhaps if you could add the hashtag Theatre of Dreams so that we can know what you feel. Thank you, selectors. Thank you, Selector Ashley. Thank you, Selector Eugene. And be prepared for a backlash from the fans of Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Salah, and those who we left out. But don't be intimidated. Stick by your choice. That's what good managers do. And that's it then. Time for us to say goodbye. I had a lot of fun sifting through all these great performances to come up with a 11. Hope you enjoyed it as well. That's it from us. Goodbye.